Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
It's a special day today.
If you're watching this on Sunday, I'm going to be 60.
Young, isn't she? She's very young.
So, for all those of you who've had a lockdown birthday, I'm sharing that feeling of having a lockdown birthday. So,
Except she banned me and her daughter and her son from doing anything really, really special for this day. So when she says, I'm having a lockdown birthday, don't fully take it on board. Because if we have had a massive party,
no, I'm not into parties. But I would have liked to have celebrated it in some way because it's quite a strategic time in my life, 60 years
it'd
old.
be lovely to celebrate on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Right, we're carrying on. Andy was with Peter last week on the top of a roof, and this thing came down, and Peter got told to eat. Right, so we're with Peter again this week. So we're going to be in Acts 12, and we're going to read. And I'm going to encourage you, as you read the scripture, things will. I have this, this word, hit you in different ways. Now, that's going to happen today because what Carol has really been drawn to is not what I've been drawn to, and I've been drawn to what. So therefore, when you read the scripture, just pray beforehand and just listen to what God is saying to you, because it's active, it's live. So here we go, Acts 12. About this time, King Herod began to persecute some members of the church. He had James, the brother of John, put to death by the sword. When he saw that this pleased the Jews, he went on to arrest Peter. This was during the time of the festival of the unleavened bread. After his arrest, Peter was put in jail, where he was handed over to be guarded by 4 groups of 4 soldiers each. Herod planned to put him on trial in public after Passover. So Peter was kept in jail, but the people of the church were praying earnestly to God for him. The night before Herod was going to bring him out to the people, Peter was sleeping between 2 guards. He was tied with 2 chains, and there were guards on duty at the prison gate. Not good. Doesn't look good for Peter. There he is. 4 groups of 4 guards. So what's he doing? He's sleeping. He knows that tomorrow he's going to be pulled out and he's going to trial. Track record of Herod, he's had James already killed. What's it looking like? Well, I read this morning, just before, during that Passover meal which Jesus shared with the disciples, he said this to them. This is in John 16. I have told you this so that you will not give up your faith. You will be expelled from the synagogues, and the time will come when anybody who kills you will be thinking that they're doing this. So by doing this, he is serving God. People will do these things to you because they have not known either the Father or me. But I have told you this, so that when the time comes for them to do these things, you will remember what I told you. So I wonder whether Peter's there sleeping because he is just going through remembering those words that Jesus has said to him. Sleeping. Right, do you want me to carry on? What are you going to read?
Actually, you could carry on reading for me.
And then you can stop
And then
me.
I'll stop you, yeah.
Suddenly, he was tied up with 2 chains, and there were guards on duty at the prison gate. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord stood there, and a light shone in the cell. The angel shook Peter by the shoulder, woke him up, and said, "Hurry, get up." At once the chains fell off Peter's hands. Then the angel said to him, "Fasten your belt. Put on your sandals." Peter did so, and the angel said, Put your cloak round you and come with me. Peter followed him out of the prison, not knowing, however, if what the angel was doing was real. He thought he was seeing a vision. That takes back last week.
Okay, you can stop there. So the thing that struck me about this bit of the passage was suddenly an angel of the Lord appeared and a light shone in the cell. Do you remember this from the other week when we did Saul on the road to Damascus? The light suddenly shone back in Acts, if I can find it, back in Acts chapter 9. And suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him, Saul, and he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? So who appeared to Saul? Jesus appeared to Saul. And again, we have an angel of the Lord appearing to Peter in the prison and coming in the form of light. And when we look at Jesus on earth, in John chapter 8, Jesus spoke again to the people and said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So Jesus is the embodiment of light. And so I was thinking about light as a thing, light, you know. A few weeks ago, our energy provider challenged us to use no power within really the peak times of
4:30 in the afternoon and
6:30 in the evening. The peak times in the day.
Fortunately,
I was
at work, so I'm out.
Didn't affect
no
him.
problem. You lot, instead of you've got to do this.
But Joel wasn't allowed to use the computer, which of course was a real struggle for him for 2 hours. I didn't put any lights on in the house, so it was pitch black, and of course it's getting darker in the evening, so it was properly dark. So really we couldn't do anything. We were using our phones as a bit of light, you know, the torch bit on your phones, and it was really horrible not having any light. We did save quite a lot of energy because we've got a big house. If you put all the lights on in our house, the amount of energy used is quite a lot. But it's actually really horrible not having any light on in the house. And I thought that's what it's like not having Jesus in our lives. It's actually really horrible. We need his light to light up the dark bits in our lives, to live in us, so that we can be light in this dark world. So that's the thought I've got for you today. I want you to be a light for Jesus. So now we're going to finish the rest of the story.
I'm going to check. I thought the angel was very practical. And probably that's where light comes in. It is practical. It helps us see. It helps us.
Yes.
But the angel was incredibly practical.
That was the other thing
Get up.
I had.
Get up.
Wherever it is.
Get up.
Yeah,
okay,
I was
so
thinking about you know, what light does for us. It guides us. Jesus can be our guide. And here's a beautiful picture of a lighthouse guiding the ship away from danger. And that's what Jesus can do for us. Sorry, that was another little thought I had.
Right. So then it says, fasten your belt and put your sandals on. Really practical, you know. How are you going to get out? Well, you need a bit of light because it's probably in the bottom of the dungeon, dark, dismal. First of all, you got to get up. Well,
and you need light because the other issue was this was night time.
Yes. Oh yeah, dark, dismal, bottom of the dungeon. Fasten your belt and put your sandals on. So you've done that. You know, put your cloak on around you and come with me. It's like just normal. This isn't something. Wow, this is normal. And sometimes I want experiences which are wow experiences. But God doesn't. No, just walk with me. Walk in that, as Carl's talked about in light. Just look to me. It doesn't have to be something extra special. It's living sensibly, normally, reading the Bible, learning from the Bible. It's not. Sometimes like this it is. Because of course this was, if this hadn't happened, Peter would have been dead.
Mm.
And we might not have had Mark's gospel because he's thought to have talked with Mark in writing it. Other things wouldn't have happened. But this is where the normal happens.
Mm.
So they passed by the first guard post and then the second and came to the last, to the iron gate leading to the city. The gate opened for them by itself and they went out. They walked down the street and suddenly, the angel left.
Mm.
He'd done his, finished, didn't need him anymore.
Mm.
He was outside the prison, outside everywhere. What is it? Peter knows where he is. And so then Peter realised what had happened to him. It wasn't on top of the roof. This was not a vision. This was real.
Mm.
Whoa, P, I'm out.
Mm.
So now I know that it's really true. The Lord sent his angel to rescue me from Herod's power and from everything the Jewish people expected to happen. Isn't that brilliant? He goes, although they were up for a fantastic death. They were up for a fantastic trial. All that's gone.
Mm.
Aware of his situation, he went to the home of Mary, the mother of John Mark, where many people had gathered and were praying. Peter knocked at the outside door, and the servant Rhoda, came to answer it. She recognised Peter's voice and was so happy she ran back in without opening the door and announced that Peter was standing outside. Nah, you're mad, they told her. You're mad. Isn't it? They're praying for Peter's release.
And they didn't believe it.
That's a challenge. Here's the mirror, Andy. Look at the mirror, you know, when you're praying. But she insisted that it was true. So they answered, it is his angel. Meanwhile, Peter kept, this is the practical bit, isn't it? Peter kept knocking on the door. Yeah. And at last they opened the door. And when they saw him, they were amazed. They were amazed. Of course you'd be amazed. You've been praying. And you didn't believe that. And suddenly it's true. There he is with you. So he goes, shh, shh, shh. He motioned with his hand for them to be quiet and explained to them how the Lord had brought him out of prison. And then this is a bit of practice again. Tell this to James and the rest of the believers, he said. And then he left and went somewhere else. Wisdom there. Hang on, they're going to be looking for him. When morning came, there was tremendous confusion among the guards. What had happened to Peter? Herod gave orders to search for him, but they couldn't find him. So he had the guards questioned and ordered them to be put to death. After this, Herod left Judah and spent some time in Caesarea. Do you think he'd set this up? This was going to be a phenomenal trial. I'm going to be... And it's all gone. God has intervened.
Wonderful.
God's light came in, not just to Peter's life, but to the believers' lives there.
Yes. We're going to leave you with that. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.